Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show here. We've got the ESWC qualifier between Epsilon and LDLC. You're at Room on Fire, and of course, very happy and proud to have you here on the channel. And it's going to be great fun. I'll have Semla joining me as always. I think Vendetta is off doing something else, but let me see. Semla, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine, mate.
You can hear me and I can hear you. So already we've made pretty good progress, I would say.
Yeah, now what I'm worried about is just, can you hear me well? Or am I too loud? Or am I too low? Or, is this all right? Because once again, I've had to change setups.
To me, you sound just fine, but obviously we're going to wait for the chat to make sure that that everyone can hear you just fine. But to me, it sounds just perfect. So people in the chat, let us know if it's all right, if we need to turn Semla up or down or whatever it is. We're going to be on a best of 3 here, by the way, in case I didn't mention it. The first map's going to be Cash. So this is like the qualifier, something like that for ESWC.
Yep.
It's still some distance away.
Basically, what's going to happen here is these two teams are qualifying for a spot in the main qualifier, which is going to happen at the event, the day before the main event, basically, Paris Games Week. So, end of November, ESWC is going to happen. No, end of October, sorry. ESWC is going to happen. And a day before the main event, when all 16 teams are going to clash, you're going to have a 4-team qualifier that's going to happen on location. And this is what these teams are fighting for, basically, a spot in that qualifier.
That's what it's down to, ESWC. Shaping up to be kind of a cool event, and it's going to be exciting to see. Obviously, it's in France, right? So if you're a French team, and these teams definitely can be considered that, you want to make it in there, right? You want to make sure you can go.
It's hard to picture an ESWC without, these teams in it, basically. Like, these 3 teams, because not only are they top teams in France, they're the top 3 teams in France, but these are top teams in the world, like top 16 teams in the world, basically.
Yeah. So
it's a bit, you kind of hope that we're going to have some way that all 3 of these teams are going to be able to participate in the main event, because it just feels weird, it's like world championship, and then it's like top 16 teams, you got 3 of them and they aren't there. So we'll see how things shake down once we get to main event time. But at least tonight, we have LDLC and Epsilon battling it out over 3 maps to see if they can get into the qualifier.
Exactly right. It's going to be great fun, and yeah, the map choice is definitely also very interesting, I would say. The fact that we even have Cash being played as one of the first maps is definitely surprising to me. Then we have Inferno and Mirage, I say, would maybe a little bit more predictable, especially Inferno. Mirage, sure, why not? But how did Cash make it in here, I wonder? That's surprising to me.
Yeah, that it actually survives. But then I believe ESWC are using the major map pool. And so that means that there's going to be Cash in the pool, but there's also going to be Overpass and Cobble. And I'm assuming both of these teams don't necessarily want to play that. They don't want to play either one of those maps. Maybe they're a bit too fresh. They haven't really had time to work on them, considering, they haven't really been playing with these rosters for very long. So they're still probably putting in a lot of work just on the mainstay maps, on the main maps that we see every day, Inferno, Dust 2. Even Cash could be an option here. And it doesn't surprise me from LDLC, seeing as how they just played against Titan in the Face It League just last week on Cash. So they put a lot of work into this map, but it's like Dust 2 and Nuke being the maps that got banned out along with Cobble and Overpass. I don't think any of those maps really come as a surprise.
No, definitely not. And I mean, this is just how it all turns out. I suppose, actually, for both Epsilon and LDLC, it's going to take a while before we really get used to seeing what maps they are comfortable playing, because even though we know all the players and everything, because it's a new lineup, we need to sort of evaluate everything we know about them, because previously for LDLC, I wouldn't say Cash would have been sort of one of their best maps, and not for Epsilon either, but obviously one of these teams has come to the conclusion that maybe it'd be a good idea playing it.
Well, one of these teams, well, at least, okay, LDLC. We'll take LDLC, right? You got 2 guys who come from Titan, NBK and Smiths, who have a lot of experience on Cash. They've played it many times, so they've beaten some of the best teams on it. So, those 2 players right there have experience. Shoxy was on Titan when they played quite a bit of Cash as well, so he has experience to draw from. Happy is just one of those smart, versatile players who's able to adapt in anything. And then you have Kiyoshima, who's the young buck, basically, of these teams. So he's just going to be learning wherever they go. So I think, those already having the 3 right there, NBK, Shoxy, and Smith, makes it interesting to see LDLC play on Titan, or on Cash, rather, because I'm going over the map right now that they played versus Titan on this map right here earlier this week, and I feel like LDLC, they threw away a lot of chances to actually win that. So I'm pretty sure that LDLC are going to be coming into this map right here pretty fired up and ready to make a statement saying, well, Titan was a Titan was a fluke. Now it's time to take the win on this map.
And they could. I mean, I still think it's really hard to tell which of these three teams is going to be the best of the new French teams. In my mind, the distribution still looks like LDLC, then Titan, then Epsilon. But I wouldn't say the gap between the three teams right now is so big that it's very... I won't say that with much confidence. It's just like a preliminary gut feeling. That's the closest I'll get to it. So nothing certain at all.
No, definitely not. And you're already seeing how they're evolving after so little time, right? LDLC, they're going for that pick play. They're really trying to spread out across the map, go for that nip style, right? Titan are kind of still same Titan, very measured, very paced. You can tell they always have a plan behind everything. I think Epsilon is going to be the team that everybody's going to be trying to keep an eye on because they're the team that we don't really, not going to beat around the bush, expect much from because they don't really have any clear leaders on the team to really push them out there, and they really have just star aimers like FXO and Scream. So we know they can inflict some damage. The question is whether they can close games. And that's something that I think Epsilon are going to have to prove, time and time again over the next coming months is, okay, we do have the firepower to actually get the kills and give us a chance, give us a shot at taking those maps, but now do we actually have, the leadership and everything else, the tactics to be able to close those games?
Indeed, you're right. And, I mean, I think especially in the early days of all these teams being formed, the star aiming power that you're talking about with Scream and FXO could actually weigh a lot more than I think it will in the next, 2 months, let's say. Because in the next 2 months, I definitely see a team like LDLC getting a lot more traction, whereas I think it's going to be harder and harder for Epsilon to stay on top with just having the star aiming power. There's nothing to say that they can't add more variety to their game, because of course they can, but right now I think that's what it's going to come down to a lot. But on the other hand, I mean, yeah, we have star aiming power on Epsilon. LDLC, though, they do have Shoxy, and sometimes Shoxy is enough.
Well, that's the scary thing, is that when it comes down to star aiming power, Epsilon definitely have it, but so do the other two top-tier French teams. Shoxy, NBK, Happy has been showing in a lot of their live matches that he's definitely somebody you have to worry about. He's been doing very good work for them.
Yeah, people have been telling me this guy Kenny's pretty good, too.
Well, that's the other thing, is that Titan have stuck with Kenny, right? So they still have Kenny, but he's still wishy-washy. Like, he's still hit or miss. Like, he's got the potential to be just ridiculously sick. And we saw it in a match earlier tonight, actually. That, it's like Kenny can turn rounds, but he doesn't do it throughout the entire map. He does it, half of a half. Or maybe he has a strong half, and then the other half he gets one frag, right? So it still comes down to Kenny and his consistency. I think what's more important for Titan, at least, is going to be Apex. Apex and Kaylee seem to be very consistent right now, and that's definitely what's putting Titan up there as a scary force. Is those two in combination with Kenny is definitely enough power to start cracking heads. Yeah,
I mean, it is exciting times. Sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating, seeing one of your top teams, your favorite teams, the previous Titan lineup, breaking apart, and then every other French team breaking apart too. But I think overall, at the end, when the dust settles, we're going to be in a pretty cool position with those teams, so it's still going to be fun. Now, I think we do have the knife round coming up here, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. This is Room on Fire and the ESWC 2014 pre-qualifier between Epsilon and LDLC. Of course, I'm Anders, with me Semler. Vendetta couldn't join us tonight, but I'm sure you'll be around soon enough back on the channel here. We are back on Tuesday as well with more action, but for tonight, we do have this really cool best-of-3 game, and we've got Cash coming up as the first one, so invite your friends, stick around, and I hope you're going to enjoy the show and come back and visit the channel even more in the future. Do you have a prediction here? Let's go one map at a time. So, Semler, who do you think is going to win this first map here on Cash?
Kind of wondering that. I think LDLC are pretty much clear favorites throughout this series. I think Epsilon are definitely going to have to be like the underdog team that are going to try and beat them up. But I'm going to put LDLC ahead like 16-12, 16-11. I think it's going to be a fight for LDLC to take the first map, but I think they're the favorites going into this.
All right. Yeah, I actually kind of agree, because I think it's hard. I think it's really hard on this map when you're on the CT side to put your star aimers in the right position. They do have 2 of them on Epsilon's side. So, I mean, Screaming one end of the map, FXO on the other end, if it works out well, it might just be enough. But I think we're not quite live yet. We're getting to a point where we could be soon. I think everyone is here. GMX kind of weirdly AFK. But you said, what, 16-12 or something like that in favor of LDLC on this map?
Yeah, I'll put it at like 16-11, 16-12, somewhere around there.
I'm gonna go even closer. I think it's gonna be 16-14, but I think LDLC will take it.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna take that back because right now, what I notice is that we do have a
manager playing.
We have a stand-in. Yeah, Major, he's not going to be here. FXYO, one of those key players for Epsilon, is not here tonight. Oh. So Major is going to be a stand-in. I was wondering, I was double-checking to make sure that he wasn't, like, fake-nicking or something, or, you know, it's just that it was, in fact, a stand-in. But, yes, it is a stand-in. Major is going to be standing in for FXYO tonight. So, actually, I'm going to put this a little bit higher for LDLC. I'll probably say, like, 16-8.
Okay, then. Well, that's interesting information. I mean, we've seen Major play before, but... you're not in an active team, and I think a hard man to replace FXYO, so I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for Epsilon, but, I mean, crazier things have happened, right? Sometimes, even with a stand-in team, can still perform pretty well. And now we'll see the knife round coming up first to decide who's going to start on what site on Cash. I'm not that hugely impressed by which side you start on. I mean, this is a CT-sided map, ideally, but I wouldn't put too much effort into to winning this knife round. Just get it over with, get into the pistol, and then win that. That's way more important.
Yeah, CT-sided map, but it's also it feels like a lot of the time it comes down to whether you have good strats or not on the T side, and that'll allow you to get more rounds, right? Whereas, you know, it isn't just like CT-sided because of the map per se. It comes down to, you know, can you get those entry frags? And Epsilon have definitely got the firepower to do that. You know, if Scream takes point, starts cracking headshots left and right, LDLC are going to struggle. But then again, LDLC have already shown that they've got good strats thought out for this map, that they've already, you know, put some practice in on it clearly and put some thought into their game versus Titans. So are they going to be able to carry that over to what Epsilon throw at them tonight? I feel like we're going to see a lot of run and gun from Epsilon, though. So that's going to be a totally different change of pace here for LDLC to deal with. Whereas, you know, coming from that match with Titan.
Definitely will be. What do we see? Actually, in spite of the change to the price, SF has still picked up, as he said, on the terrorist side as well, which is pretty interesting. And look at the stack going on from LDLC. Everybody here at the A-bomb site, and they're taking the fight, and they will pick up 2 kills. And a third one from Smiths coming in over by the squeak door. So that's a very aggressive push, and even Smith's actually stealing a Glock, which is funny.
Yeah, he actually decides to hold on to the Glock. He wants the 20 bullets, man. He wants the 20 bullets. But this is painful for Epsilon. They definitely weren't expecting that. They did put quite a bit of guys up there, but Uzi does manage to stand his ground with that CZ and pick off Smith, who was pushing in from Squeak. So that was a little bit unfortunate there. LDLC not able to recover on that. MBK is kind of hanging around here, but he hasn't been able to bring a frag back. He does have support from Kiyoshima, though, and this is a good crossfire setup here for LDLC.
Yes, it definitely is. MBK almost out of bullets. He has the knife, and, well, it's going to be the end. Luckily, he got some help from Kiyoshima then. That could have been dangerous, and I'm not sure if the guy with the Glock, I think that was Smith's running up from behind, if he had to take that fight. I mean, they did have one terrorist boxed in, which was kind of okay, but I think maybe they overcommitted. They did come out on top anyway on LDLC side. Could have been scary, though.
Yeah, there was definitely a moment where I was just waiting for the man to push out and actually get a kill NBK, right, from A main. Because you're thinking, okay, are they going to be able to actually get a refrag off of the information that Smith's got them by pushing Squeak like that? Sick headshot from SF. Wow. Boosted up, catches Smith's, and Smith's doesn't even react. Not a shot fired from him. So that's the one dig. It's already here. And now the question, LDLC, can they hold on to their anti-eco here?
I don't know, actually. Happy's missing a lot of shots at the back of sight here. They've lost MBK as well. This is working out great for Epsilon. They take the whole bomb site, and they don't lose a single person. And, I mean, obviously weakening the defense already with that initial 1 deke, but then taking the bomb site didn't go too badly either. Grenade is going to rain in here, might do a little bit of damage, and he Wixie will take down Scream. That's a nice opening, and they need a lot more right now.
Yeah, and everybody's going to be able to get good afterplay positions here on Epsilon's side. 1 M4 picked up for GMX, but there's still CZs alive. Major's going to find Shoxy, and they've spotted out Kiyoshima as well. Rotated over from the B site. He will pick up SF, but that was a fantastic buy around there from Epsilon. Might as well. I mean, that was really what you kind of expected going into this, the run and gun style, right? And the CZ is just so good for that. If you can get ahead just a step and keep the pressure up, keep the momentum up, it's so difficult to stop you because you're so quick on your feet with that pistol. LDLC just got overrun.
They most certainly did. That's a great return, and actually that headshot from Scream's gonna take down Smiths. That was a very, very quick reaction, and something we've come to expect from Scream when he's playing at his top level. So that's very scary. Not just cause, I mean, they only have pistols this round, but if they're gonna be up against Scream at that level, it could be really sick. Kiyoshima, oh my god, gets a second 1D, picks up the AK, and he gets a triple kill. Kiyoshima completely wrecking Epsilon right now.
Okay, this is the Kiyoshima we expect to see. for LDLC. And now Major's kind of stuck out at mid. He's going to catch Messiah out. Happy. Exposed at mid. He's going to get swapped in. MBK is looking to help him, but they aren't really managing to pull this off here. All of a sudden, Kyoshima is going to be the last man standing here for LDLC in a 1v2. Major's got 3 HP. So this might as well be a 1v1, but still, he's alive, and that body is going to make the difference. But Kyoshima, he's currently sitting on the bomb right now, so he knows that Epsilon have to come to him.
He's got the bomb. He's going to have to go for an ace right here. They're both going to come in from the same angle, so that's actually going to give him potentially a bit of a boost as well. Where are they going? They're walking very slowly here. 30 seconds left. Kyoshima might be in a better spot. If he goes to the high ground, that would be perfect right now. They could probably pick off one person and then fight for the one-on-one, even with the bomb down. They're going to smoke it off once here. Major's going to go down now. It is a one-on-one. 20 seconds left. No bomb picked up right now for SF. He's going to go for it. Kyoshima, he aces the team in an eco round, and LDLC will bring it right back. That was an incredible round. Now he's at 9-0-0. Semlo, my God, that was unexpected.
That was perfect. 9-0-1. Kyoshima, they gave it to him on a silver platter, but the best part is he did it in style. 2 of those kills were one-shot headshots with the deagle. So he picks up a gun and he gets his 3rd, but after that, it was very cool, patient play by him. Oh. And GMX showing Kyoshima that he can 1-dig as well. This is already off to a great start.
What are the French doing this evening? I mean, if this is a best-of-3 game, if it's going to start off like this, I'm kind of wondering where we're going to end up if we keep going up and up throughout this whole best-of-3. That's been what? How many? That's 4 1-digs in 2 rounds. Not bad.
You have to worry about Shoxy, though. Shoxy is going to manage to get into a forward position. And they may not expect this. They might not expect this Epsilon, because you can tell they expect Shoxy to get into checkered room early, but it's not often that Shoxy actually pushes up to the box like this. So this could be a good opportunity for him to shut down this push fairly early. Smiths isn't going to be around the corner fast enough. He does manage to get the kill, and Shoxy follows it up. 3 quick kills here for LDLC off the back of a flash, and it should be a 4th as well. Smiths will pick it up.
Pretty good read from Shoxy. Once he got the initial kill on the guy coming in from Playground, he instantly turned around, ready for the guy coming in from the vent room. So just a small detail, but nice game sense coming out from the French player. And that is going to be 3-1. So LDLC, they lost the 2nd round, but they've managed to recover themselves. And now, well, now Epsilon, we're actually going to have our first rifle versus rifle round, which is interesting.
2 things have already changed, or one of them has changed, rather, from the match already that we watched from LDLC earlier this week versus Titan, right? On this map right here, is that already Kyoshima, who was underperforming that match, has already shown that he's in a very good shape tonight. So, you know, just a few rounds in, and we're already seeing him pick up aces. Not a bad way to start. But another thing is that Shoxy's going to have to become a little bit less predictable with how he's holding on that B site. Because versus Titan, he just kept going checkered round after round after round after round. And Titan obviously wised up to that and got the entry frag on him several times. And already Epsilon are kind of like, it looks like they're like, okay, we kind of know you're going to be playing around here, Shoxy. So we'll see if he's able to change up his style a little bit and catch Epsilon off guard.
Ooh, good flashbangs in the middle here. Epsilon trying to see if they can go for it. They've cornered one guy, and that's Kyoshima going down. And now they're going to try and see if they can deal with Smiths. He should be falling back, because otherwise he's going to be fighting them all alone. And this is a much more reasonable setup right now for LDLC. The fact that they have everyone back at the A-bomb site, leaving Shoxy over here. Okay, that might be a little bit scary if he goes down, but if it's an A push right here, it might work out. Smiths is going to go down. Major hiding in the corner. This is the stand-in. Doing great work right now for Epsilon. He is not going to go down, in fact. My God, he's doing a lot of work.
Oh, and he gets out of there scot-free as well. He gets into CT. Shoxy's been picked off rotating from B, and that's going to be a B bomb site wide open. Happy back of A site does manage to pick up 1 kill on SF. Doesn't look like SF was aware that he was there. And he should be able to find Major if he was just able to get there fast enough. But at this point, the question is, does Happy even attempt to do anything in this position? I don't think so. I think he's going to try and run away, hold on to that gun that he's picked up, because 1v4 retake, what would be hilarious if he was able to walk around through T-spawn fast enough to get to the B site. It's not going to happen. We know that.
He's just waiting here. Scream is going to find him, and that whole opening was taken by Epsilon by some really great flashbang that fought Kyoshima back into the sandbags. He couldn't really easily get out, and as soon as he went out to repeat, they were already in the middle. And that meant they had mid-control from the terrorist point of view, and that's obviously great. That forced LDLC back into the A-bomb site and leaving Shoxy alone over here. So that mid-control right there for Epsilon was pretty impressive, and the result was exactly like they wanted it to be.
Yeah, it was a lot of it came down to that one flash where Major was able to get to top short before the flash went off. So when Smiths peeks, he just looks down short and doesn't see anybody, and Major was already up right around that corner just fast enough, where Smiths just gives himself up freely after that part because he thinks it's free. He thinks it's clear. So Epsilon off the back of Major's efforts there.
Oh,
nice.
Good backstab here from Smith. Unfortunately, does get returned pretty quickly here. Kyoshima does take down one. They've already got a lot of people here, LDLC, and there's a good reason for it. This rotation has been pretty impressive by the CT side, and that's one of the reasons why they're doing so well. MBK from behind picks up a double, leaving GMX in a 1-on-2 now. He picked up the 1 kill here with a grenade. Still got a lot more work to do, and NBK's waiting for him. He wants to see if he can make it a triple with the last 12 bullets here. And Shoxy's on the other crossfire. How on earth is GMX going to make it out of this door? He walks in, already takes a little bit of damage. MBK spotting him out.
Shoxy should never let this bomb plant happen. And there we go.
Alright, so the whole thing that set this up was actually the initial position. I think it was Happy or was it Kyoshima that was sort of gliding up this this tilted wood panel over here, because you can sort of slide up and just look over it right here, and that's what he did. Once he saw the first person, the 2 people came rotating in from the middle, and they hadn't to have a lot of people already, and then the backstab coming in from 2 of the LDLC players as well. That initial rotation made such a big difference. So I don't know, this is still back and forth through the smoke in the middle. It's going to be the opening kill happening for Uzi, and then GMX picks it up onto Kyoshima. So even with that round win from LDLC and an eco, they're having trouble against these AKs.
Yeah, it seems like... Oh, Shoxy. 6 shot there with the AWP. Picks off GMX from Toxic, so brings it back to a 3-on-4. But yeah, it seems like LDLC are holding angles, and Epsilon, they're just winning those duels. Smith, again, is going to be holding close to the main entrance to... well, close on connector, right? The edge of the door. He's going to get off to short now, and that's actually good timing from him. Major could find an opportunity here to get a peek.
He certainly wants to get a little bit closer, and they're baiting Smiths right now. They want him to stay and fight so that they can get really close to him by the time anything happens. And just point out as well, this is 3 AWPs that are left right now. One of them is on Shox, walking up from behind, looks at the kill, and will actually get that one onto Uzi. I was going to say that looked like it was going to be a free kill. Uzi just not looking the right way at the right time. Shoxy here, ready for it. He does miss the shot. Gonna go for it again and picks off Major. C set headshot on screen, my god. And he's gonna get the last one. That's an ace from Shoxy. Completely ridiculous. That's now 1 for Kyoshima and 1 for Shoxy. LDLC, I mean, we're talking about Epsilon maybe gonna rely on individual performances. I guess the same is true for LDLC right now. That's absurd.
Clearly, in the space of 7 rounds, we've had 2 aces. And both of them for LDLC. Yeah, clearly tonight, LDLC, that individual play, and they stick with the triple up as well. I mean, Happy's got the AWP. He can actually use it effectively as well. Smiths, he's the go-to opper for LDLC, but Shoxy decides to hold on to it for the B site. Now Epsilon have to be wondering, where do we go through? Happy catches one through the smoke. Shoxy's going to miss a shot, though. He has to be careful about getting rushed down, and GMX will get caught. So 2 kills there, but that was an opportunity for GMX to get a freebie.
And look at that absolute supreme confidence on Shoxy when he goes there, because he knows they must be so close with pistols, and instead of falling back to a safer position, he just sort of doubles up on the aggression, just wants to see if he can get a little bit more. Major's going to get shut down. They did kill Happy, but all the AWPs are saved. I mean, this is... when was the last time we've seen someone actually go for a triple AWP setup when they weren't just outright winning? I mean, this is not like LDLC has, you know, 15 rounds and are just 1 round away. This is still pretty early days.
This is, yeah, or at least go with like double op and a Scar 20 or something. We've seen Old Titan do that, so interesting. I don't know. They're actually making it work though. So Epsilon, they actually have guns though this time around. In the 9th round here, they have full AKs, and we've seen they've been pretty effective with them so far. Smith's still waiting for the opportunity to peek out at mid here, but Major has been boosted up once again, and they're going to go for the flash and peek. Everybody together here. Epsilon are just looking to get control of mid fast.
Kyoshima on a really good angle. MBK over here looking through the smoke, trying to see if he can pick up anyone. That's going to be the 1 kill, and Major will fall as well. It's a great double from NBK, leaving Super Fighter and GMX alone 2 on 5. And now things are starting to look very bad here for Epsilon.
Yeah, this is where it starts to fall apart. Just excellent defense there from LDLC. Kyoshima up in the vents as well with the crossfire setup. So the smokes that went down to try and block LDLC off did not do anything against him. And once LDLC have the bomb, this is the big thing. SF looks for Shoxy. He's going to try and find an angle, maybe just try and catch somebody in a 1v1. Basically, try and do some damage there. But Epsilon, at this point, they're going to have to come up with some kind of... I'm just thinking like they're probably just going to try and go for like a rush trap, because there are ops. If they invest in CZs, they can rush down an op fairly quickly and then maybe get that bomb plant. So now to see where they decide to take it. Bomb is going over to B, but they still have guys gathering up around A. They're taking their time with it, though, so it isn't just going to be a straight-up rush right now.
It could be kind of cool. I thought maybe they were going to put Major on a flanking mission, just, you know, try and sneak his way in and put the bomb down while everyone else rushed A, but
there it is.
They do meet up again.
Yeah, now it is going to be the rush play. They're just going to try and get in here quick, but NBK's already announced his presence with a nice wallbang onto Scream through the door. Scream looking to the heavens, asking, why am I so unlucky as to get dropped down to 23 before I've even seen somebody? But Happy goes for a shot and spots one out.
Yeah, Happy opening right here is interesting. It's not too often we see him on that roll, but he's doing a fine job here. And he's got some backup as well, although that quickly disappears. Happy, C-set in hand, is also going to go down. This A-bomb site not as strong as it seems, maybe, and this is going to be a bomb plant. Shox is going to go for a bit of a grenade, and that's going to do a lot of damage. They did not have any armor. So that's going to be a 1-on-2 here. Shoxy takes down one, C-set in hand, still flashed. He's going to have time to reload here and looks for GMX, and he's not going to get it. What a great headshot. GMX picks up a triple kill, and Epsilon win the eco round. Fantastic work.
So close there at the end as well, and just the timing there for Shoxy to unscope as they both lined up for him. Like, split second there. If he's scoped just a split second longer, he gets them both in one shot. And instead, it goes into the 1v1. And this time around, GMX, it's a bit of the individual play there for Epsilon. GMX clutches it. They win an eco round. And the rushdown strat works marvelously.
And now look at LDLC. They're actually going to try and put some aggression on their part here, just like they did in the pistol round. Quickly up here, grenade is going to land on GMX and actually takes him down to 51. So it's a really good grenade and some nice aggression here, trying to deny Epsilon some map control if they can.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Smith's pushed way up there, and because they've been favoring because Epsilon have been favoring the boost strats, basically Major going up there, and they're probably going to set him up again unless GMX decides to get boosted up. But once again, this position from Smith's is made to basically deny that, because they're going to have to drop down on him, and unless they look down, you know, check before you jump, right? Unless they look down, they're not going to spot him in time.
No, that's going to be really tricky. It looks like they are going to go back to the A-bomb site. I don't really blame them for that, but this time Happy is in a very different position. And checking this is actually very hard. I mean, I imagine they're going to have to lose at least one person before they realize that Happy's up here. In the middle, Smith is fighting it out. He's going to go down to Scream, and that's a big opening now for Epsilon.
We do potentially have the rotation coming up from Kiyoshima. MBK getting a little ahead of himself here. Has to keep his cool. He's going to manage to make it back in time to take a bullet to the face from GMX, but Happy using that high ground position, and he's still alive. Wasted a little bit of time, but he still gets a point-blank shot, and that's more than enough work there. Turns it into a 2-on-2 retake.
Yeah, but now it's not quite done yet. I'm not sure why he kept re-peeking at the end. Shox is going to miss one shot here. C-set 75 is out. Bomb will go down with just a few seconds left, and Shox is going to miss it altogether, leaving Kiyoshima to clutch it in a 1-on-2. He's going to move up here. Scream is in that corner. He's already got a triple and Scream. Maybe he can actually make this a quad. That smoke doing some work for them now. Kiyoshima has very few options. He's going to go in, take the one kill. Scream low on health, but he's going to peek out. That bomb's already being defused. He's going to have to go quick. He's right at the edge here. And there it is. Scream ends up with a quad kill. Yes, indeed. Individual performances. Epsilon winning that round, but only barely. And I kind of want... I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Happy because he got that amazing triple kill, but I think he could have just waited for his teammates to show up and they would have secured the round 100%.
Yeah, there was that, and also Smith's panicking mid when he saw Scream. He spotted out Scream, and then that was literally spray and pray, what we saw right there from Smith's. And Scream getting that kill opened things up for Epsilon, gave them the confidence to go to A and just start putting... well, NBK also getting caught out of position, rotating it too early. Like, a number of mistakes made there by LDLC gave Epsilon that round. So Epsilon now have to hold here. It's a bit of a... I mean, it is going to be a pretty nice buy. A bit of a force because MBK has a FAMAS, but still, they have enough to get an AWP. Shoxy's the man holding it, though, here.
Yeah, they put Shoxy on AWPing a lot, it seems like. Obviously, when they had 3 AWPs, he was one of them, but now that they only have 1, they've decided to go with him, and it makes sense. I guess the other one could have been Smith's, but I would say one of the 2, and I don't mind at all that they put Shoxy on this.
No. Well, I don't know. It's always weird. I mean, the position, it's basically put him there because of the position. But not a big fan of Shoxy AWPing because we've seen it in the past, and it's always kind of hit or miss, really, with Shox. So
look at this. Look at what MBK and Happy are up to, Semler, in this A-bomb site.
Yeah, the boost over red.
That's interesting. So instead of just sliding up, they've actually gone for it straight. And this is probably going to be a little bit hard for Epsilon to predict. I mean, they might throw a flashbang. That's going to secure them an entrance anyway. But if they just walk in here, Scream's going to have to be lightning fast. And they move away just at the wrong time. And that's going to give GMX an opening kill from the middle. Kiyoshima now looking the wrong way. He's going to go down. This is a horrible defense coming out right here, except for NBK.
NBK, and oh, it's going to be Smiths from mid who holds it. Smith's redemption, man. He actually holds it from short, just manages to catch Epsilon before they can get onto that bomb site.
I mean, almost everything that could have gone wrong with that defense did actually go wrong. They managed to move out of position in the wrong spot. Then, because they did that, they walk back, and then one of them gets picked off by GMX coming out of the middle. And then Kiyoshima turns around at the forklift, and he gets killed from the people coming in main. So that was like a long sequence of really, really bad, bad timings, basically, from LDLC, and it still worked out for them. That's impressive.
Yeah, that individual play again, right? Kiyoshima this time just spraying wildly, not going to get any kills, but he is going to open it up. Smith has the info to support him now. Kiyoshima and Shoxy getting rushed down, however. Smith has to stand his ground. He's going to get one, but it's not going to be good enough, and we're into a 3-on-2. NBK has rotated over. He's not wasted any time. Manages to just barely stop the bomb carrier, and GMX is now forced out in the open. Has to go ahead and pick up this bomb to try and get this plant.
Yeah, and that grenade won't do anything to him, so this is a great 2-on-2. He gets the bomb down, and then he's going to get dropped, and Scream is now so far away. I'm not sure he could do anything to stop this defuse. They both have a kit, and Scream, he was hoping someone was coming up from behind so he can maybe make it a 1-on-1 quickly. He's going to go down to Happy, and LDLC will retake it, but in the grand scheme of things, I'd say that's still a pretty decent round from Epsilon. Like, 3 kills and a bomb plant.
Yeah, nicely done. And Happy even manages to save the AWP, so LDLC going to be able to hold on to some money there. Nice play by both of these players. In fact, NBK there to save the day. Dropping that bomb planter was a big play by him. And also managing to just not hesitate at all. Once GMX went for that bomb plant, NBK did not waste a second. He just jumped off a sky and got right onto that bomb site before GMX could get his rifle ready. So just good play there by NBK, not wasting any time at all. Epsilon are now looking to change things up with a pick play towards B, but Shoxy's really aggressive this time. It's going to be a trade, 1-for-1.
Yeah, and there are 2 more people here, and Kiyoshima with the backup might actually be able to do this. One guy could come out of the vents very quickly if they need to. In fact, Smith has already moved down there to see if he can help out, but I don't know if they're patient enough here. GMX is patient and waiting, and he doesn't get the kill anyway. I was going to say if they just kept waiting there, they might be able to pick up the people running back in. But, well, LDLC make it out of there alive.
They still haven't shown exactly where they want to go, though. I mean, we know that GMX is there, and they know that 2 players are there, in fact, on the B side, right? Because of the fact that, well, GMX showed himself, but Uzi also took some fire. Rotation coming out from LDLC, and it looks like LDLC are going for that boost up into A main again, over red on the site. So I'm not really sure how this is going to set up here for LDLC because they're about to get caught out. It does seem like they've managed to catch wind of this, though. Smiths has rotated back over, so now they went for a 2-on-2, and this is going to be good here for this B-side defense.
Yeah. Oh, but that's a great opening from Major. Nice running headshot. That leaves Smiths now rotating back down here. The smoke is almost covering all of it. Not quite. And Smiths is actually going to walk right through the bomb here. It's going to go down, but he gets a great double kill. Careless play coming out from Epsilon. That smoke didn't cover everything, and he had a way to actually walk in. Now GMX is going to be running close here. So 1-on-2. He's going to go down. Happy waiting a little bit there to get the kill, but he does take it while Smiths is defusing. And that's going to make it 10-4. Oh, Epsilon, I think they must have seen that the smoke wasn't covering everything. Do you think they were ready for Smith doing that?
Yeah, I don't think many people would be ready for Smith getting up there again. It's like the NBK moment, right? I think it also got it was a little unfortunate there because Smith's, the angle that he peeks out at, I believe it was Uzi that was watching Scream's back. Either one, vice versa. The man who was watching the planter's back actually lined it up so that he couldn't shoot at Smith's because he would be shooting the planter. So it's just really odd angle there being held in the end. And I'm surprised Shoxy actually goes for an AWP. Was not expecting that. Thought that the LDLC would go for just straight rifles this round because they elected not to hold on to the AWP from the last round.
Well, he's feeling it. He's already got the first kill, and that was the bomb carrier as well. Now it's dropped, so Epsilon decided, well, let's go for this B-bomb site and see if we can make it work, and that's a great entry frag here. SF can't make any more of it. That's a quad kill from Kiyoshima, and the round is over. Now, for some reason, I can't actually bring up my scoreboard, so I can't show you who's top fragging, but maybe you can tell us here. Oh, now I can see it. All right, cool. So it's 18 right now for Kiyoshima at the top, and then Shoxy with 17 frags. And on the other team, it seems to be GMX, actually, who's carrying a lot of weight.
GMX certainly putting in the work right now, but it's going to be the CT side now, favored side. Now we have to see if Epsilon can bounce back. It looks like LDLC are gearing up for a B play here. They've put Smiths in early just to get information, and then the rest of them going to gather up. The flash is going to go through, and there you go, the rush. They're going to try and push onto this side as quickly as possible.
Oh, and actually, Uzi and GMX landing some sick headshots, but now they have to reload. And there is no time for that. LDLC won't let them. Smoke's going to go off here. Oh, Major. That's a sexy shot through the smoke. And it's going to do wonders for this retake Epsilon are about to do. Still no bomb plant happening here. NBK wants it, but it's going to be tricky.
NBK right now is hunting. Major's getting in a position to flank, however. Shooting that out, however, should be alerting the teammate. Messiah's going to get in the corner that's happy. So he's going to be trying to watch his back. Make sure... Oh, the nice flash peek, but Major hits the timing again. Unreal. Smoke and flash kills for him in this one round.
One plant attempt here, and SF is going to charge in and take down MBK. So, in effect, what LDLC did in that 2-on-3 is they actually sacrificed the chance to get the bomb plant to try and make it a 2-on-2. And with the flashbang, like you were mentioning, into checkered room, I didn't think that wasn't such a bad idea. I'm just surprised that Major hit that shot. So, nicely done from Epsilon.
Oh, there's no getting around it. That round was sick luck for Major. I mean, he times it. It's just timing, it's experience, it's everything coming together. But him getting the kill on the man trying to get onto that bomb site through the smoke from CT was one. But then to hesitate just that second to land the shot as he was flashed and get that headshot, I mean, those are two massive kills for Major in that round. And that's one of those rounds you just have to shake your head at, really. There's no getting frustrated from that from LDLC. It's just like, okay, put it out of our minds. And they don't even hesitate. They go for a head armor buy right now. And Shoxy's going to find the headshot on Uzi over at B.
Right, and this head armor buy wouldn't have happened if they'd put the bomb down, because as everyone knows, they would have been saving for the next round. So, actually, it does cost LDLC a fair bit, though a nice opening from Shoxy. He's going to get returned upon by Major, the hero from last round. But we'll see if... I mean, the first half had a lot of trading of rounds early on, right? So we'll see if it's going to be more stable this time, or if it's going to be just as crazy.
You have to wonder. I mean, pistols, there's 3 CZs on LDLC right now, so they could just try and go for some early pressure. Happy is slowly walking his way over here, but Major is pushing out on his own, and he's going to manage to get Happy. So man advantage now for Epsilon, but they've moved their way into checkered, and there's 2 guys here now. Major being cut off, and they know he's there, and he's going to get flanked.
Oh, and GMX rushing through the smoke. He's going to go down. That was a brave and maybe even slightly insane move, because instead of his team being in a pretty decent... What, 3-on-3 retake? Now they're in a 2-on-2 and the bomb's about to go down here. I don't know, this is really scary right here. Kiyoshima already doing damage. Super Fighter's gonna go down Scream. He wants to get into the party, but he hasn't bought a ticket. He's gonna get evicted, and Kiyoshima will pick up a double kill. That's now 12 rounds for LDLC. So once again, Semler, we're back into the back and forth here between the two teams. Just nobody can actually win the rounds they're supposed to win.
Pretty much. And you can tell that, Epsilon, they wanted it so bad, SF, to just go and deny the plant, deny NBK, just like NBK and Smiths had done in the rounds before. He wanted to do that so badly, but Kiyoshima was in position to stop that from happening, keep him from getting off a Sky. Shoxy's waiting with that, or he doesn't have the AWP, rather, he has an M4, but the Deagle is there. GMX looking for that shot, and he's going to tag Shoxy down to half.
Looked like we were going to have another 1 Deagle. We had a lot in the first half here, but... GMX not going to get the opportunity. Major in a good corner, and Happy wasn't expecting it. He's going to have time to kill him right now. He's reloading, and the burst fire actually does work. In the meantime, over at the A-bomb side, it's Super Fighter. Deagle in hand. That's a 1 Deagle if I've ever seen one, but he can't get the second one. If he had got that flick off, I don't know, we would have had to put him in the Overwatch or something. That would have been too much to really ask for, and now it's a 1-on-3 here. Uzi could take down Shoxy, though.
Yeah, he definitely could, and thus pick up a rifle, and he's going to get to do just that. He's got an M4, but awesome, now he can upgrade it to an M4. 1v2, Smith seems intent on cutting him off, though. And Uzi sees this coming. He works his way back to the B site. If he can hold on to this gun, this would be a nice win for Epsilon. A little bit of money saved. He's got the gear on him as well. As we can see, he's got 4,900 bucks worth of gear on him right now. So this would be a nice save if he could just stay alive here. And he's playing it smart, just waiting to see if anybody's going to be coming from mid, which would be a likely spot if you're LDLC, if you're a terrorist on the hunt, running through mid, going into checkered. It's not a bad spot to be holding against.
I mean, Epsilon tried for actually an interesting strat this round, which I don't really mind, because they had GMX challenging very early on with the Deagle on this sort of very common angle looking out towards the playground. I think their hope was that either he gets a straight Deagle headshot and they're off to a good start, but if he does go down, they actually had 3 more people stacked up in this bomb site after him. And I think they were hoping that if GMX dies, then maybe LDLC are just going to take the bait and rush right into the bomb site. So they had a plan that round, Epsilon, and I like that.
It shows they're not all about just the crosshairs, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate, though. That's painful. NBK lines him up. And Uzi has been spotted and checkered. Smiths is going to find the spray on him. So quick headshot there, and that's the B side open. They know where GMX is, though, with that deagle, and GMX trying to click it away. But Happy finds the headshot first, and this is going to be LDLC now. 14 rounds on the board. Epsilon will be able to go for the last buy here. They have to land this round if they want to have a chance of keeping LDLC off that 15th round and match point.
Exactly right. I mean, I feel like at 14-5 right now, the scoreline is sort of deceptively one-sided, because this hasn't been like a 14-5 game right now. Epsilon have had so many close rounds that it almost feels like they're being cheated a little bit, but obviously LDLC don't give a damn. That's a pretty decent grenade from Superfighter. Could have done even more damage, but the starts go... Epsilon just need whatever they can going their way right now, I guess.
Yeah, and Epsilon are gearing up to just cover this bomb site in flames right now. But there's two guys here, one man close. They're rotating over. They know exactly what's happening. They are not hesitating at all. Epsilon know that they need to crush this push instantly.
Yeah, and now the Molotovs rain in from the terrorist side here. Superfighter going to get forced out a little bit, but they do have the infantry to try and stop this push from happening. Still just a minute left on the clock here, and LDLC aren't really committing to it. This is interesting.
They're really taking their time with this, and they're looking to try and find a pick before really pushing in there. Kyoshima could find Major, baits out the shot, but then the door gets closed in his face, and it's turning into the door battle. SF somehow not getting sprayed down.
What's happening? Sharks is going to open up, and then the return from Uzi. And let's see if they can make this work. Major looking at exactly the right angle here. He's double scoped. He doesn't get the shot off. And here's a 4-on-4. He's going to go down. Backup is already here, though. Epsilon, they have all the people, but they can't get the kills. And it's going to be GMX now in a 1-on-4. The bomb is going to go down somehow. LDLC have forced their way into this bomb site. And GMX, well, he's not going to be able to save this AWP. Maybe if he could have rode away on the back of this pickup, that would have been the best way he could have got out of there, but that just doesn't happen, and now he's at 15-5. And I have no idea how LDLC took that bomb site. It looked like Epsilon were already in position, Semler.
Yeah, it did. I mean, Epsilon they already had 5 guys there to stop that push, and yet LDLC, every time they peeked, they saw one guy over at CT. Kyoshima got a running headshot. And just they were able to overwhelm the defense. They softened them up with the mollies early on, and when it came down to it, in the end, they just managed to land the shots faster. Major not really being too effective, trying to hold off Squeak, and yeah, Epsilon, the defense just got picked apart basically. LDLC were able to just get one bit going for them, and they never let go. Interesting.
Shocks running through the smoke with a flashbang there. What? Does he spot the second person? He does see Major. I think he hesitated for a second, but that's just Shoxy doing Shoxy things, right? I mean, running into a bomb site and getting a double opening like that is pretty rare, and that's probably going to secure the first map here for LDLC. I mean, it's a best of 3, so don't want to panic too much yet here for Epsilon, but it's obviously a scary start. 16-5.
16-5 is the final score. Yeah, the reason I said what is because Shoxy, I mean... He just did a classic double take there, right? Because he clearly saw the guy in vents and like looks back towards the site, and then you could tell it like it just catches up to him. He's like, "Wait, what?" And like turns around again and tries to spray. So
that guy's not wearing the right uniform at all.
Yeah, exactly right. Where do you get that helmet?
Exactly.
So he does manage to overtake those 2 kills, give him the top frags.
Exactly right. So that's actually already our first map over with. Now the next map's going to be Inferno, and I think Epsilon are going to be better on that map. For a map they know a little bit better than they do Cache. But before we get into it, we are going to have a pretty quick just a pause here, guys. So don't go too far. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Should be about 5 minutes, and we'll be back again with the second map between these two great teams. So stay tuned, and we'll be back soon.